Mary, you want to do another test to start?
Start again. Hello? Testing sound. Are we good to go? Okay, thank you, folks. Sorry for that, and really appreciate your patience as our crew tries to get all the technical aspects of this together. I'll do a little start over, so I'm hoping you all can hear me now. Good morning to the Woodward Fire Press Briefing. Today is Saturday, August 29th. My name is Mary Rasmussen, and I'm the Information Officer for Northern Rockies Team 2. Again, thank you for your patience. Our lineup today is Brandon Chakowski, Operations Section Chief for the fire, Jeremy Michaels, Incident Meteorologist, Sergeant Brennan Collins, and Fire Chief Jason Weber. I'll turn it over to Brandon.
Morning, everybody. Second time around, hopefully is always better, and may last a little longer and get a little additional info. So might be on your benefit. But we've been getting a lot more folks coming in the last couple of days, at least the operational personnel side. I've got a crew and some water tenders, three engines in yesterday. Today we're expecting another 20-person crew, strike team. That's 5 engines and a total of 22 folks coming in today. So we definitely are getting an uptake in some additional operational personnel. And those folks are the ones that are directly out here on the fire line working. So, another 60, 70 people showing up between yesterday and today. So, which is a good thing. Kind of a little tour around the fire. As we look at some things, we still have a night shift out there, which is also very important for us. And night shift has mainly been focused over on the right behind the visitor center on north side of the fire, the northeast side of the fire, and along what we call our Division Tango, which is down part of Bear Valley Trail. That's where their main focus is, and the greatest values at risk, and where the fire has actually bumped our containment lines, and we have some good fire activity. So they're looking at that piece for night shift. Structure folks are still out there looking in the neighborhood, checking on things, making sure all defensible space issues are being documented and concerns with that, and looking where we can do some activity here in the near future in some of the areas. The other piece of that is we've had a lot of great help from some defensible space folks there from Marin County, and we're winding down their use on our incident in our areas. So great cooperation, great teamwork there with that, and getting a lot of good products out there with those folks. As far as the fire, we're going to start over here on the southwest portion here where the ocean is and what we call our Division Zulu. Things are looking really good in this area. The dozer was finishing up a piece a little bit yesterday again. The hand line there that they had to put in is looking good. It's where the 2 dozers couldn't meet just due to terrain. It was too steep, had too much side hill to it. But there is some very tall fuels in there, tall fuels for coastal scrub that can burn very well. We're talking 6, 7 feet tall. So this is a piece of the fire we are worried about down in here, and we're getting very close to getting water through a large 1.5-inch diameter hose coming down from the top. And as that comes down through, we'll get it into Zulu to be able to start mopping that fire up and getting that line very secure. As we move up and around up by Z Trail, Sky Trail on the northwest side of our fire, that's actually looking really secure. We've had a lot of good security with some dozer line and hand line up in that area. We're feeling good about that. Yesterday, we did start off of Horse Trail on the north side of the fire, taking a dozer line down to Limitor Road. And that's going to be part of our northern edge of our control line as Limiter Road comes around back to the Bear Creek Visitor Center. So we're looking very good in that respect, having a lot of that line and that road prepared for when we do have to initiate some fire in that area to basically get control of the incident overall and get the fire closer to where we want it in our terms, where we have a safety of our employees at utmost. As we move around, there's no dozer line right behind the visitor center. We're going to be doing a little burning in there today and kind of allow that to gently kind of go up the slope and take the fuels out of there. So we have good control of the fire in there and won't have a chance of being able to come over the fire line into the values at risk towards the visitor center and Olema in that area. Bear Valley Trail, we're doing a lot of good work in there. We actually did some hand firing, basically putting fire on the ground along the road yesterday. We had one piece we weren't able to get to. The marine layer came in and just wasn't conducive to doing any lighting on the ground. We also had some aerial ignition, basically dropping some little plastic spheres on the inside, the interior, to allow some fire to start to kind of grow gently, low intensity fire on the ground, just to kind of get rid of the fuels in between the main fire edge and our control line along Bear Valley Trail. And coming up off the coast there, finally on the southeast side of the fire, which we call in our division Whiskey, is starting to look really good. A lot of the hand line in there is looking very good, and that's where we're getting some really good containment on our line that we're feeling comfortable that it will not be allowed. The fire won't be able to get over our control lines. We have quite a bit of work out here left to do. One of the things that we do is we have to perform some mop up. And so one of the things is this fire, any wildland fire, on our control lines, we mop up in, and it just depends on the fuels and the terrain and the safety. We mop up in to the extent necessary that we, so the fire won't escape our control lines with some predicted wind, predicted weather overall, and the fire behavior, like you heard John Trapp talk about yesterday. So we mop it up in with water, hand tools, personnel, but the vast majority of the interior of the fire basically uses just the natural piece of nature, and the fuels just burn themselves out over time. And so that's kind of overall how the control of this fire is being looked at and being able to mop up and have long-term safety of the communities in the area. So, thank you.
Good morning, everyone. Jeremy Michael, incident meteorologist. So like Brandon was saying, talking about additional resources arriving, we also have some resources of our own in the fire behavior and incident meteorologist shop. We ordered 3 incident RAWs, weather stations. This is a challenging and complex area to forecast for, and there's not a lot of weather observations in this area. So we've ordered 3 of these, and we're gonna place them in different locations around the fire. We'd like to place one, it may be hard to see, but around drop point 10, if you've been hiking back in that area or driven down that road, there's a big grassy area. We're gonna wanna put one of those out there. We wanna put one up here, up on the hill above the Education Center, up on Limiter Road, to give us a little better weather information up in that northwest side. And then we will have one more weather station, hopefully, and we'll be deciding on where to put that and where it's most critical to help operations and what they're doing on the ground. So one of the other things I've been doing this morning is I usually give a general weather outlook. I produce a weather matrix as an outlook for planning purposes. I do a general incident action plan forecast. But this morning, what I've been doing is spot weather forecasts. And that's when I try to get very, very detailed, to the best of our ability, down to a single location if they're doing a critical operation. So we've been doing that, and we'll provide that to operations this morning. Looking out over the next few days, from today and through at least about Monday, we're looking at a pretty similar pattern. winds southwest at times, maybe in the late afternoon, early evening, switching around to west-northwest briefly, but nothing strong. Marine layer around 1,500 feet, waffling back and forth, a couple hundred feet, going up, going down. And right now at 1,500 feet, that doesn't do a lot to us, right? Because most of the fire layer or fire area is below that marine layer. However, we've got strong ridge of high pressure that's going to be building in from the Pacific Ocean. And that's going to compress and flatten that marine layer down to potentially as low as 200, 300, 400 feet. Right now, we're just thinking 500 feet. But what that does is gives most of the fire area into that sunny, clear air where we get much warmer conditions, drier conditions on the fire. The one good thing is at least we're not looking at strong winds when we have these higher temperatures, but we know like early this past week, when we have those type of conditions, what can happen. So we will be really dialing into that and trying to raise our confidence levels and providing that information to the fire crews. Thank you.
Good morning, I'm Lieutenant Brennan Collins with the Marin County Sheriff's Office. Just wanted to give you an update on our evacuation orders and warnings. The same warnings from yesterday are still in effect today. We haven't changed any of our warnings or our evacuation order at this time. Currently, as it stands, just like yesterday, our evacuation order pertains to the Silver Hills Road area in Inverness Park and the couple streets that are off of Silver Hills, basically the Silver Hills community. The rest of the Point Reyes Peninsula is still in an evacuation warning zone. The communities of Inverness Park, and Drake's View are still in an evacuation warning area, as is south of Point Reyes Station all the way to the community of Bolinas down here. Olima up into the Bolinas Fire Ridge Road and south to the McCurdy Trail is still on an evacuation warning. Bear Valley Road is closed currently. It has been all week from Sir Francis Drake and down to Highway 1 as well. So that road is closed for emergency vehicles, and so fire can get the equipment out to the fire that they need to. The Point Reyes National Seashore is as well closed for visitors. So please, nobody visit this area right now because of the active fire inside the national park. We are starting to discuss repopulation of areas and reassessing our evacuation warnings. However, we need to make sure that the community safety is our primary concern and number one factor when making those determinations. So please be patient with us. It is something that we are in constant communication about, in constant conversation about, when we can get you folks back to your homes, when we can lift these warnings. But again, like I said, your safety is our main concern. So those conversations need to involve all of the players, the correct people to make those very important decisions made. So please be patient with that. I think that's all that I really have for you this morning. Like I said, our evacuation orders are still in place and our warnings are still going on from the previous day. We appreciate your concern and safety. We know this is a very stressful time for you and your families, and we ask for your patience, and we hope for continued success in fighting this fire. Thank you.
Okay, we're checking the sound here again. We know we're having some bandwidth issues, so bear with us. We apologize. But I'll go ahead and move forward if I'm getting a nod from the team. Alrighty. Again, thank you, Jason Weber, Marin County Fire Chief. We've heard from Brendan in operations what's happening on the fire line. We've heard from the meteorologist, the weather we're expecting. We heard from the Sheriff's Office, the considerations around evacuations. I can tell you, first thing in the morning, we're having those conversations. Our goal is to get you back into your homes safely as quickly as we can. And we understand that's a priority. For hanging these over is nerve-wracking and challenging. I'll reiterate, as I said the last few days, this fire is challenging. It's challenging because it's in heavy fuels and very steep terrain. And for us to feel very confident with the fire line, we have to bring it to, as Brendan mentioned, somewhere where we can work with it. Earlier, one of our operations chiefs said this morning, the fog has been our friend. It's been here to allow us to do some very good work to prep those lines. Our friend now needs to leave so we can get this work done that's going to be so important for these lines to hold through the rest of the summer. A lot of great work's being done. We had some questions about containment. When we see these numbers, and I know you're all watching them closely, our containment is predominantly along this Division Z or Zulu. And then where you've seen some increases is coming up Division W or Whiskey here on this backside. The challenge we have here across the rest of the fire is all of these zigzaggy lines equal higher percentage than a straight line down here across the bottom. So that's why our containment numbers are still hovering around 10%. We need to complete this work to see those numbers come up. We appreciate your patience with that, but that's the explanation on containment. Also wanted to mention that the firefighters are moving from sleeping at Samuel P. Taylor to here at the old San Geronimo Golf Course location. So you may see some increased activity. We have worked with the neighbors. We're making sure any lighting that's on 24 hours is facing away from neighbors and minimal noise in those areas. So we know this is a lot for everybody in the community. The smoke's been awful. It's going to be with us for a little while here. We appreciate all of you, all the kind words expressed to the firefighters that are out here, our friends from the north side of the United States, Montana, Idaho, Pennsylvania, across, that have come to help. There's a lot of great folks here doing a lot of great work. And I know from my perspective, being a community member here, we certainly appreciate that. We know this is impactful on all of you, and we're as anxious as you are to see this resolution. So thank you, and we'll be back again tomorrow, and I think Mary's got some more information on fire statistics.
Thank you. So I just, again, thank you for your patience with our delivery today. And we are monitoring your comments and the questions we're getting via our phone line, and we're trying to incorporate those into the briefing the following days to help make this more meaningful to you. Really appreciate the signs. We've seen some thank you firefighter signs, hero signs along Sir Francis Drake Drive, and also in the entrance to our incident command post here at the golf course. It's really meaningful to the firefighters when they come in at the end of the day to see those signs, and it just helps them feel appreciated. So I just, another thing I wanted to mention is we're working on getting some pictures, recent pictures to post to our INSEE website of what the burnout operations look like and what, what we're seeing, our folks that are out on the line, what they're seeing. So we're going to try to help bring more visuals to you via INSEE Web. So just to end with some fire statistics for today, we're at 3,072 acres, 10% contained. We have 520 personnel, and that includes 13 crews, 33 engines, 6 helicopters, 2 airplanes, 5 bulldozers, and 3 masticators. So that's the conclusion of today's briefing, and thank you for tuning in, and we'll see you tomorrow.